can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Oops, there we go. What is up, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Winter Meetings. I am your host, Seven. My co-hosts will be joining me in just a moment. First, I do want to give a special thank you to our sponsor, Gunslinger Soap. Gunslinger Soap is handmade soaps and beard products made without all of the junk to pamper your skin. You can go to their website, gunslingersoap.com, and sign up to get 15% off of your first order and always free shipping. It's gunslingersoap.com. Definitely check them out. I know the owner personally, does a lot of charity work. He's a firefighter. Great business to support and high quality stuff. I've been using their soap for years, legitimately. So of course I'm going to bring in my friend, my friend and former starting Yankees pitcher, Mr. Stefan Wever. How you doing today, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Thank you for joining us. And our special guest this evening, since we're going to be talking about the Braves and the Mets and that race in the NL East, I wanted to bring in an expert on the Braves, but unfortunately, all I could find was my good buddy, Cory. Thank you for joining us tonight, Cory. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Thanks for having me.
Happy to have you. I do appreciate the partnership that we now have with Sportsaholic Daily. Definitely check out Sportsaholic Daily for all of your sports news. I will have a link to their page in the comments section here in just a minute. And thank you to, I see Will's in the comments section. What's up, Will? But I wanted to start with talking about this race in the Braves, the NL East, Braves and the Mets. And we get Ozzy Albies back. And then he fractures his pinky. Out at least for the rest of the season, going into the playoffs. Possibly we might see him in the postseason. What was your first thought when you saw that?
No. That was my first thought was no. Please no. I mean, granted, I know we got depth. Atlanta has the talent. They've proven time and time again they have the talent. We lost a few players since our World Series run last year, but putting aside any of my bias, it's a big hit for us. I mean, our depth is solid, but Ozzy Albies, you just can't match his talent.
No.
And then, I mean, come on. I mean, you come back at your first day back or second day back, the day after your first game back.
It was the second, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was the second game back, and he come back in sliding into, second base. And I seen it. As soon as I seen him lean forward, and once he leaned forward, he just kind of fell forward because all of his weight shifted to his hands. I knew something bad happened. And
I don't think people realize what they think fractured pinky. Oh, no big deal. It's a huge deal. I mean,
it is.
And that's it.
Oh yeah.
He can't throw. Is it a throwing hand?
Yeah.
Yes,
right
sir.
hand.
So he can't grip a bat. He can't throw.
Oh no. I mean, and the thing is rewatching the video. I'm gonna try and pronounce his name right. I don't know if it's John Segura or Gene Segura is the player who stepped on his finger. But when I rewatched the video multiple times, it almost kind of looked like, he didn't get off his finger right away. Like he stood there for an extra second, and then he realized, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, let me go ahead and get off."
Oh, you think he pulled a Machado?
Maybe. I mean, it's possible. I mean, the playoff race is real. I mean, and it gets hot and heavy. And then we're playing the Nationals next series, and then we go right back. We're going to Philly to a big rematch. So it's exciting, man. Exciting times for baseball.
Yeah. Pennant races are really exciting.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, we're only one game behind the Mets. So I'm looking forward to hoping that they slip up, the Mets slip up, and then the Braves just continue on their run so they can take the lead, get that number one spot in the division. But Mets are a great team. I mean, and they're going to be a tough team to beat. I mean, not just in the NL East. I think in the NL overall, they're going to be a tough team to beat.
The Mets definitely are a tough team. Stefan, do you think that the Albies injury is going to – how significant do you think it's going to be for the Braves?
Oh, very significant. I think the Mets are a great team. They have great pitching. I mean, the Braves have pretty good pitching too with this guy Strider, your boy, and Morton also, I think, and I think they have someone else. But I think it'll be significant.
It's and yes, shameless plug. Spencer Strider is still my NL Rookie of the Year pick. If I had a vote, that's where I'd be going. Man, that kid is going as crazy as his mustache. Like that's all I can say about that dude. Like he is. Just
if his baseball skill falls off, he at least still got his mustache going for him, But no, that kid, for being as young as he is, I mean, and doing the things that he's doing on the mound, I mean, it's phenomenal. And just watching it and being able to watch it, and being able to witness him being able to do it. And from what I understand,
Where did he come from?
Give me 1 second, sir.
I will tell you in just a second because I'm just pulling up his stuff right now.
Yep.
He's from Ohio. Where did he go to college or did he just go right into the minors?
I'm pretty sure he went to college. I think he only spent like a year in college though. All right, now you got me looking. But anyway, what I was going to get at as far as our second baseman situation, I mean, we got Vaughn Grissom there, and Vaughn Grissom, he has stepped up. A lot of our rookies have. That's what I was saying. Some of our depth. I mean, when we've sustained injuries throughout the year, we've had, Robbie Grossman step up, Vaughn Grissom, all these young guys, Michael Harris II. I mean, that dude, he is for him being as young as he is, he's put on a show. I mean, especially the second half of the season.
Clemson, by the way, for Strider.
Yeah,
Clemson. He was drafted in 2017 by the Indians, or now the Guardians. Didn't sign. Was drafted in 2020 from Clemson because he was drafted out of high school, went to college, was drafted out of college to the Brave system.
Well, apparently worked.
Yeah.
He made the right choice. Yeah.
Well, hold on. I'm not going to say this that he made the right choice. I think it's more the Braves made the right choice. I mean, the Braves needed some depth. I mean, every team needs depth at pitcher. I mean, somebody knows from experience, from what I understand. Every team needs. Every team does need that depth at pitcher, and for the fact that he's as young as he is, as long as he keeps producing the way he is now, and barring any injuries or anything major, I mean, sky's the limit for that dude on the mound. As long as he doesn't, I guess, overdo it one day and cause himself to have a major injury or something like that.
So I just saw something that I thought was interesting. So Spencer Strider, going in today has 202 strikeouts on the year. That's 8th in the league across all pitchers. As a rookie, he's in the top 10 in strikeouts, and he didn't even start starting until what? It was like a month in. It was 6 or it was 4 to 6 weeks in at least.
Yeah, I think it's like a month and a half. Pushing 2 weeks or pushing 2 months. Sorry.
Yeah, because he had some. Wait, where did it go? No, he had some strong outings as a relief pitcher, and he was a rookie, so that's probably why they put him out of the bullpen to begin with.
Oh yeah,
because he's a younger rookie, and he just showed strong in relief, and so we're like, well, guess what? Thanks to injuries, guess who gets to start? And he hasn't had to look back.
I think those relief appearances probably prepared him more. I wish I had some relief appearances.
They should have given you relief appearances before you started starting. Like I've never understood starting a rookie without giving him experience at that level in relief. Just an inning. Okay, you're going to go out and sit down the 3 easiest batters on the Phillies. You just to get your feet wet, you get it out of the way. Maybe you get your first strikeout as a professional pitcher, and then in a couple of days, you're going to start like something.
Yep.
Or hey, it's a bullpen game. We're going to have you play. You're going to come up in the 3rd inning of this bullpen game and pitch. We want 4 innings out of you. Okay. Ease them into it. Like,
yeah.
I'm also not a fan of using rookie quarterbacks in the NFL. Like,
no
skill positions like pitching and I would say short and second. Don't start him first. Bring him in relief. Let him get the experience.
Yeah.
But
That's
so this
by Brian Bello. He seems to have done it. I mean, he struggled his first couple outings, but he really turned it around.
Yeah.
And I will say to Boston's defense that Bello that Boston didn't really have a choice in getting him into the starting role because Boston was plagued with injuries on their pitching roster this year. I mean, you got Chris Sale back for 4 innings, and he was gone. Out of the whole season, you get 4 innings out of Chris Sale. Like, Whitlock was up and down a few different times.
Houck injured.
Houck, so many problems.
Waka?
And
Michael Waka.
Waka was injured. Yeah, he was down for what 3 weeks a couple times.
And he's probably he's like 13-1.
Yeah, Waka. I would say was their best pitcher this year.
Yeah, I mean he's got a good chance of getting comeback player of the year. I think.
Oh yeah,
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know though because Matt Carpenter's in the National League, so I could see him. Yeah, I could see him get AL comeback player of the year.
You might even get some Cy Young votes.
Wait, no, because Matt Carpenter. No, it's going to be Matt Carpenter for American League because he's on the Yankees, and that's an American League team. I was thinking because Cardinals are National League.
Well, he spent most of the year at St. Louis, right? Or was he on the DL?
No, he got released from St. Louis in May. They just cut him. The Yankees picked him up, and it's been magic ever since.
Yep.
So that just screams comeback player of the year for me.
Yep.
Matt Carpenter and his mustache. So Cory, next thing I wanted to get your opinion on is you look at this race. Obviously, the Braves are one game back from the Mets.
Yes, sir.
Where do you? I mean, how do you realistically? So we know with your bias, you want the Braves to come out with it, but realistically, what is your best prediction for where you think the Mets for where you think the Braves finish?
I honestly think we could take our division. I mean, that's not being any bias, but with the way that injuries happen and, the pitching, sometimes our pitching does struggle, especially our relievers. It's not necessarily our starters, Heck, I even say it. Some of our closers. I love Kenley Jansen. Kenley Jansen's a solid pitcher and everything like that, but he's even had games where he struggled. And I mean, if we get our pitching under control, I think we'd be, I'm not going to say unstoppable, but because that would be a little bit too much bias. But I mean, we're already a tough team to beat, but I think we'd be able to take down the Mets, no problem.
Even though the Mets have 3 great pitchers right now?
What was that?
Even though the Mets have 3 great pitchers right now?
Well, yeah, 3 great pitchers. And if you're referring to one of them great pitchers as being Max Scherzer, then I'm just waiting for himself to pull himself out of the game. I mean, that's not me talking trash or nothing like that.
I get it.
I mean, I get you're trying to save yourself for further in the series and everything like that. And you can attest to that. You being a former pitcher and everything like that, you do want to reserve that arm. But when you're in a position of making sure you win the series right then and there for your team, I wouldn't pull myself out. And that's just my personal opinion. And I mean, I hope he doesn't do that to the Mets. I hope he got his arm taken care of, because I've had rotator cuff issues before. I've had 2 surgeries in the past. So I can only imagine some of the issues that pitchers, I mean, baseball players in general, but pitchers especially. I mean, because you're throwing that ball as hard as you can every single throw. I mean, unless you're trying to throw something off speed or something like that and have a little more
control. The human arm is just not made to do that.
No, right. It's not. I mean, the thing
still shots with the arm, like the elbow.
Oh yeah, where it looks like an alien arm or something like that. Like, no, man, that ain't real. That's got to be photoshopped or something like that.
Like a gummy arm.
Yeah, it looks like a piece of rubber band just flopping in the wind or something like that. When you watch it in real time, I'm like, what is that? Like, yeah, but it's not natural. But I mean, pitchers do it day in, day out, sometimes twice a day, if you got to have a doubleheader or something like that. And it's amazing to see it, because when I was younger, I loved playing baseball. I didn't so much like watching baseball, but that was before they got into more of the stats and everything like that, and being able to get into the better camera angles to see how that ball actually come in and curves down, or right, to see how it just hugs the side of that plate just right, and to be able to watch it, like watching the playoffs last year, and that was a rough household. I'm a Brave. My wife's a Dodger, so that was a rough household last postseason.
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall for some of those games. Oh my goodness!
She told me right before the game even started. She goes, "We're enemies right now. You know that, right?" And I said, "No, we're not enemies." She goes, "Yeah, but you got to stay over there." And I said, "That ain't fair," And then when the Braves ended up beating the Dodgers, she was not a happy camper. So I had to tread lightly. But
oh gosh.
But as I've gotten a little older, I've kind of developed, more of a love for watching, like the play breaking down, being broke down.
I'm looking at the standings right now. The Braves and the Mets are actually tied in the loss column. That's a big break for the Braves. Yeah. 55 losses.
Did the Mets lose today?
No, they won.
No, it says they've won 4 in a row.
Because what I'm looking at is that we're one behind them.
Well, yeah, 1 behind them, but tied in the loss column. I mean, you can be 1 behind them and still tied in the loss column.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Sorry, I'm deaf in one ear, so I didn't quite hear what you had said. So I'm sorry about that.
He's deaf in one ear and dumb in the other. Just give him a minute. He'll get there.
Yeah, I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan too. So I mean, I'm a glutton for punishment sometimes.
He just makes a lot of questionable choices, is what it is. Stefan, what do you think, man? How do you think the NL East plays out?
I like the Mets. Sorry about that, but yeah, I just think with DeGrom and Scherzer and Bassett, I mean, they have some good hitting too. I mean, I don't think the Braves are going to beat them, especially now with Albies out.
Yeah.
I think
with Albies out, that's a big hit for us. I mean, and that's what I was even telling a friend of mine the other day about that it's going to be rough. I mean, we're going to have to pull. We're going to have to play solid, sound baseball, no mistakes, nothing like that. The rookie's going to have to step up and not play, I guess you would say, rookie caliber baseball. He's going to have to step up and play better than even good rookie caliber baseball. You got to step up and prove that you belong in the big leagues. I'm not saying fight. I'm not saying fight for that position, fight for that starting spot, but get in there and prove that, hey, look, I deserve a shot. So that way, even if they do when they bring Albies back, and then come that offseason, they look at this guy like, man, this dude really did step up for us, and they might have a spot in the rotation for him,
There's a lot of potential that can be gained on a team when you're dealing with injury issues, because your younger guys get more time to show what they're made of and make their early mistakes in a period that for some of these teams doesn't matter. But like in the situation of Braves, this is when you get to show what you're made of.
Yeah.
And it's
you don't have a cushion of you're starting out at the beginning of the year. You get to come in at the beginning of the year and work on your mistakes. You're coming in at clutch time. It's clutch time of the season, and I mean we're in a legit race. We don't have no lead. We don't have like a clear in my mind we do have the disadvantage of, especially losing Albies. We have the disadvantage in the NL East right now.
Yeah.
But good luck.
Yes, sir. I'm praying every day, man. I'm praying every day for it. I want to have back-to-back. I'd love to have some back-to-back World Series champ.
There's something to be said about the fight that is within the Atlanta Braves team. And we saw it last year as they clawed their way from nobody expecting them to even sniff the postseason to taking home the commissioner's trophy. So for me, it's like I can never write the Braves off as a team. And I think the Braves more often than not have to work on not beating themselves to win their games. I do like the Mets to take the division. Now, it's not saying anything about postseason. I like the Mets to take the division simply because when you look at both teams, the biggest challenge for both teams is that 1 3-game series that y'all have facing each other. But outside of that, everything's pretty light. As long, win 2 out of 3 in each of those series, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to crunch time, they have the best starting 3 pitchers, which based on my math, you have a chance of seeing at least 2 of the 3 of those in that series.
I think if we face them in the first series, I don't think we're going to see 2 of the 3. I honestly think we're going to see all 3 of them. And I'm not.
And I mean, some of it's going to depend on rest, but it's possible.
Touche.
But
it also depends on how the last few games of the season come down too. Because once you get down to like the last 4 or 5 games of the season, like say if they have that clear lead, they can rest those start them. I mean, DeGrom,
that would be huge, especially with DeGrom's injury history. That would be huge.
Exactly.
And DeGrom is the one. When I was looking at the pitching schedule and starting to kind of estimate it out with how their rotation looks, DeGrom is the one that I think you guys may miss.
Yeah.
But I don't think unless they have a bullpen day when they don't need to to stave the rotation off for enough of a day that you do get all three.
Yeah,
I think realistically you're gonna see 2 out of the 3 of their starting 3 pitchers that are.
I won't disagree with
the other thing, I like Buck Showalter, and Buck Showalter is ultimately for me the reason why I went with the Mets this time, because so many times if you look at Buck Showalter's history of coaching teams, when he leaves, the next year they go to the World Series and usually win it. Like he's built so many teams and then gets the boot. Well, now he's got this solid piece that managed to run that division despite not having DeGrom and Scherzer for a large chunk of the year. They still managed to own that division. And I've got to give credit to Buck Showalter on that. And so for me, I think the Mets are going to take it, but I also think that anything can happen in October. And so the postseason is going to be a completely different discussion on who wins out of those 2.
Right.
Let me tell you something about how good a manager Buck Showalter is. When he was coaching the Yankees, he looked ahead to see who was umpiring the games, and if it was a low ball umpire, he'd set up his rotation so that a low ball pitcher would pitch those games. He'd look that far ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Buck Showalter is big brain baseball. The 2001 Diamondbacks World Series team was built by Buck Showalter.
He's old school baseball, man. He knows, and he's smart. He's got a high baseball IQ, and like Stephen was just saying, you gotta have. He looks ahead. You gotta play strategic. It's almost like a game of chess, especially when you're playing for the playoffs, and you're planning for the playoffs. You want to know when to rest these pitchers, and like he said, depending on what umpire is going to be up there, you got to plan for that. So I mean, and that's smart. That's what.
You've never seen him really mad unless he's going after an umpire.
Yeah. That's the only time. Like you don't see him. And I think that's one of the things that I like about Buck Showalter. Cause I'm very much a critic of Tony La Russa since the White Sox brought him back in. And he is also an old school baseball minded person. The difference is Buck Showalter. The difference is dementia and a heart condition. No, the difference is Buck Showalter has allowed himself to grow with the game. He still has that old mentality, but you're not going to see Buck Showalter sitting in a press conference throwing a rookie under the bus for hitting a home run on a 3-0 ephus pitch. Yeah. Buck Showalter doesn't do that. He knows better. Buck Showalter knows his players. He relates to his players. He talks to them. And that is, and that's, and I think it's one of the reasons why he's such a great coach. So I think that we're going to see some great baseball. And I think this is the best Mets. This is the best team the Mets have had in at least a decade.
Easily. I'd say easily.
86. 86.
Yeah. I don't want to get too lofty with my predictions. I know I get a little Skip Baylessy on some of the stuff that I say, but I definitely try to rein it in most of the time. But I think you're right, though. Honestly, I think this is the best Mets team since '86. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think October, we're going to get some good baseball this year in October for sure.
Oh yeah.
And
we're going to have some deep series too. I think that there's going to be a few of the series that are going to go deep. It's not going to be like, oh, it's a sweep here and there, especially when the Braves and Mets face each other. I don't think it's going to be like a big blowout or something like that. Like here, we're gonna sweep the series. No.
Yeah, too many good pitchers on both sides.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the Braves, even if we don't have as deep of a bullpen as the Mets do, but we're going to bring our best stuff, especially against not only not just a rival, but that division rival. We're 1-2. Right. So we're number 1, number 2 in that division. If we face each other in postseason, it's going to be, I think, a really good series. And I'm excited for it. Win or lose. Yes, I want the Braves to lose. Sorry.
I'm clipping that. I'm so clipping that.
I want the Braves to win. I never want them to lose. Sorry, which was what I was trying to say. But win or lose, they'll always be my team, and I just want good baseball. I mean, I never want my team to lose. I just want really good baseball. And if they do lose, I want it to be, y'all gave it y'all's all. Y'all had, their backs against the ropes, but then they got the best of you. And vice versa. I don't want to watch the Braves just have a blowout and sweep them every series because it's boring. It becomes boring baseball, and I don't want to see that, And that's me. I'm a fan of the Braves, but like I said, that's what I don't want them to have that sweep. It's just
you're a fan of the game, also.
Oh yeah, I want to watch the game. I want to be able to watch baseball, a good, solid baseball game, and I want to watch the fundamentals. If it happens to be, where they're slamming nukes every single, at bat or something like that, cool. But then the next game is a pitcher's duel for the next game. That's awesome. I want to see a good mixture on both sides.
You want to be able to second guess the manager is what you're saying.
Exactly. You're like, man, I can go out there and do a better job than you. We've all done
that makes for good content.
We've all yelled at the TV and been like, man, what are you doing? I could do way better than you. But, can't really put ourselves in their shoes. Well, I mean, some of us can.
You weren't here when I told these guys that, but Buck Showalter knows the nickname of every single college in football, whether it's, Division I, Division II. He
really?
knows who the Tigers are, who the Lions are, every single team.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
He's got an incredible mind. Mad respect for Buck Showalter and what he does. All right. So as we're talking about we talked about the race for the NL East. Let's go ahead and talk about some teams that have clinched the playoffs and some teams that have been eliminated. Teams that have been eliminated, we will start in the National League. All three from the AL Central, the Pirates, the Reds, and the Cubs. I wasn't really surprised about the Reds or the Pirates. I didn't have a lot of high expectations for either one of those two teams this year, but I was a little shocked about the Cubs. I felt like they underperformed this year. What did you think, Stefan?
Yeah, I agree. Plus, I love David Ross. I definitely thought they were going to do better, especially after last year.
What about you, Cory?
I think they underperformed. And I'm back at what he said. After the way they did last year, they could have done way better, but it just goes to show that, mistakes can be made from year to year, regardless of how strong of a team that you have or think that you have. You got to switch it up. You got to adapt with the game. And, the same thing doesn't work today.
They're still reeling from losing all those guys.
Yeah.
They lose like 6 starters. Schwarber, Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
Their World Series team is gone.
Yeah, they lost the whole World Series.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's entirely gone.
They're still recovering from that.
There is some decent talent on that team, because especially like when you look at Ian Happ, absolutely, I love Ian Happ. He's great follow on Twitter. If you have a Twitter account, get into baseball Twitter at all. Ian Happ is a great follow. He actually has a coffee company called Connect Roasters, and they have legitimately good coffee. I've gotten bags from there before. It's pretty good. And the Cubs, though, I felt like they could have done better. I know I've got some friends that are Cubs fans that are kind of disappointed about what they've been through, and I get it. Wrigley is historic. That's one of the ballparks, like Wrigley Field and Fenway are both ballparks. I want to see one day, watch a game in just to see, because it's so iconic. You know what I mean? The Nationals and the Marlins in the National League East have both been eliminated as well.
What's that?
Not really a surprise to either one of those.
No, I know. Not a surprise.
I was hoping they wanted to do better, because I'm a huge Don Mattingly fan, and they did pretty well last year.
Yeah. It's, for me, the Nationals one is really frustrating, because that organization is literally scaring away quality talent. Yeah. That's how bad that organization is.
That's exactly what they did. They got rid of Scherzer, Trey Turner, and they both went to the Dodgers. And then all of a sudden, here goes Scherzer over to the Mets. Now he's leading them, to a playoff run to like you said, the best team since '86, I believe you said.
Right.
And it is. They are. They're just I hate to say it, and pardon my French, but they're like pissing away good talent. I mean, they're a team that here, we're just going to get rid of it. Like you got all this. Why not build around that talent? Like
sad to see a team that won the World Series 2 years ago, and now they're the worst record in baseball.
Yeah, it's for me one of the things that I think was really telling that maybe the casual fan doesn't pick up on is if you think about it at the trade deadline when they were first of all you have Soto wanting out. It's pretty common when a player wants out of an organization, there's something wrong with that organization.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so that was telling. But when you also look at when the Padres were trying to deal with the trade with Soto, they were hoping to be able to include Eric Hosmer in that trade. And Hosmer actually had them as a no-go on his no-trade clause. Like, I won't even consider a trade to this team, so don't ask.
How does that make you feel?
Like, that's a very telling thing because Eric Hosmer's a pretty go-with-the-flow guy. That dude managed to be functional in the Royals organization without any problems.
Uh-huh.
And and this was before John Sherman bought the Royals, so that organization was kind of a dumpster fire. Even though they went to a World Series and then won it the next year. Like, respect to Hosmer for making that call, but like as the Nationals, that's got to be embarrassing to let your organization get embarrassed like that publicly.
Right.
It's shocking to me. Go ahead.
I would say, speaking of a shocking team, a team that actually kind of shocked me, especially towards the latter half of the season. How about the Seattle Mariners making it in?
Didn't shock Seven. He's been with them all year long.
Dude, I've been backing the Mariners all year. I've said it. People are not giving them enough credit, and they are earning it. They are absolutely earning it. We're moving into the AL West with this. So the A's and the Rangers have both been eliminated. Nobody's surprised there.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't trying to jump us ahead or nothing like that. It just,
You're good.
Yes, sir.
You're good. The Angels are AL West. The Angels, they are all but eliminated. They have less than 0.1% chance of making the playoffs. So basically done. The Mariners, though, currently, as of today, 80-65, 99% chance to make the playoffs. It looks like the pretty good chance since they're 15 games back from the Astros that they're not going to win the division. But that's one of the wild card teams.
Wow.
And
got to feel good for Scott Servais. I mean, he's been up there a long time, facing with a lot of bad teams. So yeah, he's done a great job.
The Mariners haven't had a competitive team in 20 years.
And they got a couple good players, Ty France, Rodriguez. They got some good talent.
Well, see, how do you feel about the whole Rodriguez situation? Because my opinion is, I'm glad they got him and they solidified.
Well, I think we discussed that one week. I think the consensus was that the Mariners jumped the gun. You shouldn't give a guy who's only been in the big leagues for that short period of time. I mean, if anyone deserves it, he deserves it, and he'll probably pay off. But show me what you got for a year at least.
Yeah,
I like Julio Rodriguez. I really, really do. But it scares me when a team does something stupid like paying a guy that early because it messes up the market and it makes things difficult for other teams that are trying to get stuff done.
Oh.
I'm all for players getting paid what they're worth.
Yes.
But it does take a little bit of time to figure out what that correct number is.
Well, think about it. You could have took the amount of money, like you said, he's so young into his career. You could have took that amount of money and been a little bit smarter with it and built around him. Like add some players, add some depth, not just here. We got one all-star. That guy's not going to win you the World Series. You're going to have a full team. You're going to have some depth in your bullpen.
He's making more money now than both Devers and Bogarts combined.
Oh, yeah.
And they did. They did pull in that trade for Luis Castillo at the deadline. I think that was probably one of the best trades, one of the best deadline trades. because he has such a solid, consistent arm. I love Castillo as a pitcher. And when they made that trade, I told Stefan, as our group chat for us that hosts the winter meetings, I said that was Mariners going to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I have a friend.
I knew it.
I have a friend who's a Mariners fan. He was saying the same thing. He said he just doesn't. He hopes that the Mariners don't do typical Mariners fashion. And here we're going to get to the playoffs, and then we're going to piss it away, you know. And I said, I don't know. This Mariners team is different, you know.
There's a different energy in that dugout. You can see it.
As far as Castillo is concerned, I mean, with his arm action, I don't see a big injury. I mean, he's got such a fluid motion.
Yeah,
he does. He's great to watch pitch, by the way. Just very fluid, very basic in what he does, but very effective.
It comes natural. It's like a very natural to him.
It is, and something to consider. The Mariners in the offseason will be making a play for Shohei Ohtani because the Mariners, and more so than certain other teams, because the Mariners have a huge Japanese following because of Ichiro. Yeah. And with the amount of respect that Shohei has for Ichiro, and you can see that anytime they're near each other.
Yeah.
If the Mariners are the ones that are offering him the opportunity, I think he does everything he can to get out of LA.
Oh, I'm sure.
Do the Mariners have enough money after signing Rodriguez to sign Ohtani too?
Yeah, they'll be fine.
I mean, let's be honest. Shohei could always come to Atlanta. I mean, I'm not going to complain if he wants to come to Atlanta.
If Shohei doesn't go to Seattle, he's coming to Boston. Sorry. You got our ownership will be something like that. Our ownership would open up the checkbook for. They would pass the money ball again. But
that's the thing.
Atlanta don't want to step in the ring with that checkbook.
He's the type of player that you do open that checkbook up for because he's not just effective. He's effective on both sides of the ball. I mean, he's a player that you could put in that you can get 6-7 innings out of him on the mound, or you can get him in the at batting. He could probably crack you a home run or two in a game, or get you a few solid hits in the game, you know, and everything like that.
10 wins as a pitcher and 34 home runs as a hitter.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Shohei more here in just a minute. Let's talk about these other teams that have clinched and been eliminated first.
Yep.
The other two teams that have been eliminated already are the Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Royals. No surprise out of either one of them. I think the Royals have a lot of work to do in their organization, and so do the Tigers, to decide what they want to do, because you're not going to get any results with what you're doing.
No, it's sad because I would really love to see Miggy get another fucking champ. Sorry, pardon my French, but another championship before he gets before he retires, man. Because that dude, the Marlins are my number 2 team, and I've seen that dude from being little skinny old Miggy up there playing and helping lead the Marlins to a World Series. And then I was sad when he left and went to Detroit, but I was happy for Detroit. You know, I was happy for that team because they needed a player to build around. And just seeing what that dude's done, and he's up there with probably my top 5 favorite players of all time. I mean, he's a humble guy. I mean, he's one of them dudes who's humble. I mean, and you can see it in him. He's a lead, and the people, even everybody, not just in the locker room. I mean, just to see him at the All-Star game. I'm not going to say he's the same caliber as Big Papi or nothing like that, but he's right up there with him as far as the way the young guys look up to him. I mean, these young guys look up to him like that. I mean, look at what that man's done in his career, and he's done it on teams that he probably shouldn't have been doing it on, but he helped build the teams to what they were. I mean, not the Marlins per se. You know, he was a rookie when he came into the Marlins, or might have been a second year or something like that, but he was still so young. And then he, like I said, when he left, and he helped build Detroit. He helped build Detroit to what they were. You know, now it'd just be nice to see him get back to that, so he could at least try to get one more run before he retires.
Well, one of the things I like that Detroit has is a Bobby Wood Jr.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
It's
He might be rookie of the
There's
year
some
in the
potential there.
He could be rookie of the year in the American League.
Yeah.
It's not out of the question at this point, honestly. But it's going to be an interesting battle because there's a couple of guys. Because in the American League, you're also still going to have Bobby Witt Jr. in there in the discussion for that for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And he is such a stellar talent. Oh my God, I love that kid.
He's right? I mean, that dude.
He's got so much potential, so much energy. I love seeing it. I'd love it if Boston would trade for him, send them Bobby Dahlbeck. You're getting a Bobby to Bobby. That's got to even out, right? We don't have to look at play and production. Those don't count. It's just one Bobby for another Bobby. That's even. Right?
Yeah. If it just worked that way.
We don't have to count things like stats and production results. Those things don't count. It's name for name, Bobby for Bobby. It's cool.
I'm all for
it. As far as who's clinched, real quick, Houston Astros. Nobody surprised. They're one of the best teams in baseball. I think they are. They do have the best record in baseball right now.
Gross.
I agree. The Mets or the Dodgers are. The Dodgers have clinched their division as well. First team. No, they're okay. So the Astros are the second best record. Dodgers are the first.
They had the best record.
100 wins. Yeah.
Dodgers have the best record in all of baseball.
I think the Astros are going to the World Series, and I think they have a shot at winning it.
I mean,
they're battle tested and they are good. They've only gotten better with this guy Alvarez. I mean, that guy can rake.
He can. Well, and here's the thing. I think that the American who makes it for the American League is going to depend on how the bracket plays out on the American League side. Because if the Yankees can get going, the Yankees have a shot. But if the Yankees face the Mariners in the first round, that's not a wild card game. The Mariners will beat the Yankees in that series. Well, they go the full length, but the Mariners will win that series.
We're riding that momentum and you're going.
And so I think it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I think a lot of who comes out of the American League to go to the World Series is going to depend on how the bracket plays out.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't the Mariners beat the Yankees in a series like 20 years ago?
I think so.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. It was, I think the year before, because, maybe, what was it, 2002?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because that was an 0-1 because the Yankees went to the World Series in 2001.
Is that when they lost to Arizona?
Yep. Because everybody was so sad because Arizona beat the Yankees in the World Series that was after 9/11.
Luis Gonzalez.
I was not sad.
Luis Gonzalez, man. It was.
Yeah. I mean,
I was.
Feel bad for the city of New York for what happened, but not for the Yankees getting beat. That's not something to feel bad for the city about. Like, no.
Two different things.
On the Yankees, though, I mean, how about Aaron Judge, man? I mean, that dude is.
That's kind of where we're going with this. Is that AL MVP race? Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, the discussion could be never ending, and regardless of who wins, I think that at this point, there's argument for either one. And I like it's just when you look at the definition of the MVP, it's who makes their team the best. Without them, their team wouldn't do as much as they've done. And that clearly is Aaron Judge. You've got amazing stats by this dude. He is at 59 home runs.
Is it 59 still?
50. Yeah, he's at 59 home runs. So he's 3 away from the AL home run record. He has a 419 on base percentage, and he's batting average is 316.
What's his OPS?
1.120.
That's crazy.
Like his WAR is 9.2. Like Aaron Judge is the reason the Yankees are going to make it to October.
Yeah.
If the Yankees didn't have Aaron Judge, the Yankees are not going to the postseason. Shohei has put up some stellar numbers this year. 10-plus wins, 30 home runs for the second time, or the second year in a row, and he's the only player in baseball history to do it.
Yes, but
because he's such a unique talent. But
yes, that part being said, he's not carrying his team to the playoffs or World Series. Aaron Judge is literally carrying he's carrying the Yankees. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it right now. Yeah,
that's why I think there should be 2 awards. There should be an MVP and an MO, most outstanding player. So I give Judge the MVP. Most outstanding year is Ohtani, I think.
Absolutely, and the attention that Shohei has gotten, it's a pretty amazing thing that you have to take, that you have to just say Ohtani is allowed to be compared to Babe Ruth. Like it is a legitimate, honest discussion now, because the truth is Babe Ruth is the only player that you can compare Shohei Ohtani to.
Yeah.
That's it. Like that's the comp. Yeah. And when you look at his pitching stats, which are just mind-blowing, 13-8, a 2.43 ERA, 196 strikeouts. His whip is 1.04.
Crazy.
In his last game, he only gave up 3 hits across 7 innings, only walked 1 batter while striking out 8. And he has a batting average right now of 333.
And how many home runs?
34, I think.
Yeah, last I checked. That's
hold
ridiculous.
on, batting. Wait, hold on. Where did his batting stitch go? Stats. Batting. There we go. Yeah, these 34 home runs.
34, yeah.
He has 11 stolen bases. Go Shohei. Oh wait, no, he's only hitting 266 right now.
He's awful.
Yeah, horrible.
Get rid of him. Get rid of him while he got some worth.
357 on base percentage, slugging 534, 891 OPS. Like there's no denying that Shohei Ohtani is one hell of a baseball player. But I cannot for the life of me put him as MVP over Aaron Judge with what Aaron Judge has done in New York this year. And I say that as an angry-ass Red Sox fan.
Get him on a team that has some talent around him to where it's not just him carrying the team. Because, basically it's him on the Angels. I hate to say
it. Trout also, but
Mike Trout, how long? Mike
hit a
Trout
home run in 6 straight games?
What was that?
I think he just hit a home run in 6 straight games.
It was like 6 or 7 straight games he had a home run. And Mike Trout is another generational talent that the Angels are completely wasting. And that's why I'm glad to see that Art Moreno is looking at selling the team, because maybe that's how you keep that.
Can we say the Nationals of the AL?
There's no argument against that right now. And that's the problem. When Art Moreno bought that team, he bought that team to be competitive. And
all that money in Mike Trout, and then it was like, all right, cool. Now we just need to get some more players, and they just never did. And then here comes Shohei. All right, Shohei and Mike are gonna do it all. Like, no, there's gotta be more depth. There has to be depth there.
You have to have depth to be a championship team. It's not necessarily about having the highest payroll. It's about having roster depth. That's what it is. Because
every team's gonna have injuries. You need someone to step in.
Yep.
Exactly. And so that's why the only thing that keeps Shohei in LA past the 2 seasons that he's contracted to be there is if the new ownership throws a whole bunch of money at that roster to keep him there.
Yeah. It says, look, we're gonna build a team around you. Like, because I think Shohei has the loyalty. He also wants to win. He's not going to stay there if he's not competitive. He wants to prove that he's the best in the world.
Shohei has no problem supporting the organization,
Yeah.
but Shohei wants to win. And if the organization is not putting the right pieces in place to make it a winning team, he's not going to want to stay. And who can blame him?
No, honestly, you can't blame the kid. I mean, because how long has he been there now? What, 3 years?
4 years.
4 years? Yeah. See, so I mean, he wants to win. He's giving you guys 4 years to show what he can do. He's proven that he's probably arguably one of the best baseball players in the world. You know what I mean? And y'all got to add something to it. He's proven he can do what he needs to do. Now y'all got to do what y'all can do to win. I mean, that kid's not going to stay there forever. I'm surprised Mike Trout signed extension. To be perfectly
they probably fed him a whole bunch of bullshit.
Oh, I'm sure.
They had to.
But I was shocked.
Yeah.
When I heard he was re-signing with him, I was honestly shocked just because I know that dude. I mean, he's still got some good years left, and I know that guy wants to win. I mean, that dude's been with him even longer than Shohei. I mean, you know that guy wants to win.
Yep. Quick update on the scores. Sunday Night Baseball, bottom of the 7th. The Dodgers are up on the Giants 2-1. Sorry, Craig. Other scores around the league. Boston
the Giants 9 times. All 9 times they've played this year.
Yeah. It's the Giants are another team that underperformed this year. They had the most wins in the league last year at 107. And they completely fell off.
Yeah.
It's
honestly the leader of that team being hurt for the whole season. And that being said, Tatis being out for, I mean, heck, he was out for majority of the season, you know.
And he will be out for the majority of next season.
Just the first 42 games.
Okay.
Yeah, just the first 42. But I mean, he's a big, even if he's not playing, he's a leader in that dugout. Like he lifts the spirits of the other players and this and that. You know, I mean, do I think the guy got a bad shake at it? Yeah, I do. I think, you know, I mean, but I don't know. I'm not.
Here's the thing, and Stefan can attest to this because you know he's been in a real clubhouse. When you have something wrong, you go to the team doctor and they tell you what you can have. Yeah. You don't just go to Walmart and get something off the shelf.
Plus, I'm not. Athletes like Tom Brady and those guys, I mean, they know what they're putting in their body. They look at every ingredient, and they know.
And
like you said last week, Tom Brady probably spends $1 million on his body a year.
He does. Tom Brady spends $1 million a year taking care of his body.
Easy. Between nutrition and fitness.
Now he's going to lose Giselle.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's I feel so bad for him. He doesn't know how to not play football. That's what it is. This guy, he does not know how to not play football. He has been so ingrained in the game for so long.
Tom, if you're out there watching this, we're going to hold an intervention for you, man, because you're addicted to football. Or I'm not going to say football. It's competition. You're addicted to competition.
That's why he's already signed the broadcasting deal, because at least he can be there and he can start competing to try and be the best broadcaster. That's a very shallow pool, let's be honest. But you know, it's
hey man, he's got to be Romo first, man. Yeah.
He's honestly, I would love to watch a game called by Tom Brady and Tony Romo.
Oh yeah,
you would learn more about football in that 3 hours than playing it for 10 years, guaranteed. Just guaranteed. Okay, so as we wrap up tonight, final thing, Albert Pujols in his quest for 700 career home runs.
I hope he gets it, man. I hope he gets it.
Oh, he'll get it.
I think that he's definitely moving in the right direction. When we look at what is his career stats, I want to see where he's at again. I'm pretty sure he's at 698.
That's 2 away.
Yeah, 698.
He's at 698 career home runs. So
he's going to hit it. He can retire after this year.
I mean, yeah, but you know how hard it's going to be, like, because he'll get 699, and then all eyes are going to be on him.
Yeah.
And how many pitchers are going to just walk him because they don't want to be the footnote in history of the guy that gave up Albert Pujols' 700th home run?
They did the same thing to Barry Bonds. They did the exact same thing to Barry Bonds when he was trying to break the record, and it was like, come on, pitch to the dude. But I honestly don't want them to just, here you go. Just lob it in
don't give it to him. Don't give it to him.
Make him work for it, but pitch to the dude.
Pitch to him. Yeah, just pitch to him. Exactly.
Don't intentionally walk the man.
When we look at the schedule that the Cardinals face, trying to get it back up in front of me. Coming out now, the tail end of their season. 2-game set against the Padres that starts on Tuesday. I'm sorry, 3-game set against the Padres to start on Tuesday. 3-game set against the Dodgers. Oh, could you imagine? Oh, could you imagine if he got number 700 in LA against the Dodgers?
Off of Kershaw. I think Vince Scully might come back if that happens.
Vince Scully would be dancing in his grave. And you know what? It looks like this slated that second Dodger game next Saturday is Kershaw is going to be the pitcher. Could you imagine? I think that would be amazing.
So if he's stuck on 699, does he come back next year?
No. He doesn't need to. Albert Pujols, he knows he's a first ballot Hall of Famer at this point. And like he knows that. He wants to walk in the sunset because him, Waino, and Miggy. No, or Yachty. Him, Waino, and Yachty are walking into the sunset.
Yep.
This is it.
Holding hands.
And so I can't for the life of me. Think of why he wouldn't. He's said that he's not. So I would think at this point, we just all need to hope that it happens. Again, don't want it to be a gimme. Right. I really don't want it to be a gimme. But, I think he gets it.
It looks like it's not going to be a gimme because Kershaw won't just lay one in there.
No, Kershaw won't just give it to him. But I also think that Kershaw would still pitch to him. At least give him the respect of pitching to him one last time and make him earn it. Which I mean, that kind of makes me want to set time aside to watch that game because I'm almost very intrigued by that now. Looks like Cory had some technical issues. So for those that were, we apologize for him dropping out a couple of minutes early. That was definitely not the plan, but he's having some technical issues. We will have Cory back again. We are actually going to be in our partnership with Sportsaholic, going to be bringing guests in from the page from time to time to talk about stuff that they have a lot of expertise in, just to kind of add some knowledge to the show. Cause I mean, we can only do so much. we can't all be a former starting pitcher for the Yankees and know almost everything about baseball. It's not all, we're not all that amazing. But I want to thank Cory for joining us. He did great. It was great to have him. And of course, a special thank you to our sponsor again, Gunslinger Soap. Go to their website, gunslingersoap.com. Great products, all natural. Wrapping up, any final thoughts, Stefan?
You took away my final thought. My final thought was going to be Puljos, but you stole that from me.
That was, I like that something like this is happening because it's definitely bringing positive attention to baseball, especially because of how long Puljos has been in the game. I think that
plus, he's
always
a
good,
class guy.
Yeah, he is such a high class guy. He's great with even opposing fans, great around kids. He's just good for the game. But I think that there is also a huge chance that, he just, he gets it. He gets it done. There was a long shot talk at one point about whether, maybe he could make a run towards 714. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I think he'll end up with like 701, 702, somewhere in there. But when you get into the 700 club, once you're in, it really doesn't matter.
No, they can't pull you out.
I mean, I'm kind of working on, I'm thinking about making a meme with putting Albert Pujols in the 700 club set. That horrible, horrible, horrible show that claims to be Christian, but is like worse than a corporate church. Yeah, I want to put him on that set.
Right.
Welcome to the 700 Club. I think it would be perfect. It's going to happen.
That would be perfect. You've got a lot of good ideas, t-shirts.
I think that was just going to be a meme, but the t-shirts, I don't know. We're gonna have a lot more t-shirts next year. We're working on one right now. We should have a t-shirt up within the next week or so, actually.
We got to get Craig's face on it because all the women.
Exactly. I mean, that's actually the shirt. It's going to be a caricature of Craig, and it's going to say Mr. Sex Appeal across the top. And what we will sell, we will sell it by the tens. I think tens and tens of people will want it. I'm firmly convinced. But Craig, we are glad that you chose to spend your 20th anniversary with your wife. I hope we wish a happy anniversary to both of you. And happy anniversary, by the way, belated for you for the anniversary of your MLB debut and for being sober. Congratulations for both of those amazing achievements.
Thank you very much.
Yes, of course. Always glad to have you with. And I know you won't be with us next week because you are going to be on a plane. Hopefully going to San Francisco. Hopefully they don't trust you to fly it. That's my only concern.
I'm sober.
You gonna go bug Craig while you're in San Francisco?
No.
You gotta. But it's good to see you, man. Since we won't see you next week, thank you for joining me as always. I appreciate you.
Tony,
Cory, thank you again for joining us. And we will see you guys next week. Don't forget, you can catch this episode and all previous episodes on Spotify just by going and searching for the Winter Meetings. For my co-hosts, I am your host, Seven. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night, everybody.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.